All right, man. We are here today with Seeker.
Nice to be here. I love it.
Welcome to the Men's Alliance podcast, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Howdy.
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 tell us, a little bit about yourself, your name, your tribe, and how you got connected into Men's Alliance.
So I'm John Roach, or Seeker, and I go to Grindstone at the moment. I got my call sign at Victor. I coined at Grindstone, and then I did some leadership in Armor Tribe for a while. I had to step down because of work, but now I'm back at Grindstone.
Okay.
And I don't know. You might know Showtime. He goes to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's my brother-in-law. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
He showed up at Alpha Tribe a couple of weeks ago. I just roll up at Alpha and he's there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had hit a low point in my life, and he invited me over. It was around this time of year last year, actually, for his birthday party. He had a bunch of Men's Alliance guys over, and they all just kind of sewed into me, Okay. And they were like, I think it was a Friday night, and then we had Grindstone the next morning. I think that sounds right. And they were like, come to Grindstone in the morning. And I went in the morning, loved it, went to Victor, and I think I stuck with Victor for a while, and then I would kind of creep into Grindstone here and there.
Those Clover Hill guys, those are some solid tribes.
Oh yeah, I love them. They're awesome. It's really a group of brothers. Like, it really is. Yeah. And because I had never felt like a brotherhood like that. Like, I've grew up with the same friend group since I was young, but we were more so like drinking buddies. We weren't really like brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
it's easy to make drinking buddies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, it's so easy. You can make a lot of those in just a real short amount of time anywhere you go.
Yeah, and they
Brotherhood's totally different.
For sure. And I could probably call on them, but they might listen, but they would never come help me with something, But the guys in Men's Alliance, I call them and I need help, they're there, And I'm very, very grateful for that. And it's like nothing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I encourage as many people as I know to join the tribe.
Yeah. Because
it's what it's done for me, I think, is very impactful.
So, did you marry Showtime's sister, or did
he marry your sister? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, brothers, sisters, what do you got?
So, me and my sister, it's just us.
Just the two of you.
But I do have a stepbrother. My parents got divorced when I was like 2. So my mom kind of fell off the deep end. She got strung up on drugs, was living in the streets. And I think I have 4 or 5 half brothers that I don't know them,
Yeah.
Because she was off and doing God knows what, But yeah, it's just me and my sister, really. My brother is my stepbrother. He's in the Army. He's over in Germany right now, so he's not really around. But Showtime is my brother now, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, like no question about it.
So were you mostly raised by your dad?
Yeah. My mom wasn't really in the picture.
Yeah.
We would see her every once in a while, but I mean, she was living in a crack house. That's the best way to put it. And she was around people my dad didn't want us to be around, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was raised by my dad. He's an all right guy. He's had his struggle with alcohol.
Yeah.
And that's been a big problem recently, actually.
Okay.
Me and my sister have been trying to work with him, but it's like there's so much you can do if somebody doesn't want help,
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the hardest thing. Is watching from the sideline, and you want to help the person, and what the person needs.
Yep.
But they're not interested.
I got him going to church for about 2 months. I think 2.5 months he started going, but he hasn't been in 2 months since then. And it was like when he was coming to church, he started doing a little bit better. He was listening to the word. He was talking to me about it. He started actually feeling convicted for some of the things he was doing. And but I don't know. I feel like he was about to hit a point where change was going to happen, and he got scared.
Yeah.
And he kind of backed out. But
well, you got some seeds planted there.
For sure. I just keep praying for him as much as I can.
Yeah. You're a pretty young dude too. How old are you?
I'm 22. I'll be 23 next month.
Oh man. Yeah.
Just getting started.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Makes me feel old.
I still feel like I'm in my 20s.
Okay, that's good.
Mentally.
Yeah. There you go.
Physically, not so much.
Yeah, I don't. Man. Yeah.
Still just winging it, man.
Wow. So you're 22.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I didn't start going to church till I was 21. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You know, that's so weird too, like being this age. So I'm 46. So like when I meet you and we're talking and stuff, like I feel like we're just like the same.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say your age and I realize like, oh, like I'm your dad.
Yeah.
Like I'm your dad's age. Like you're my son's age.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh boy. Okay, yeah, I'm old. Yeah, I've got a son that's 22. So man, that makes me feel old. we actually, you know, this surprised me kind of early on. Men's Alliance is mostly old guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's mostly guys in their 40s and 50s. And then the guys that are in their 30s are the minority. And then very few guys in their 20s. I feel like there's all kinds of different reasons for that. Probably just like stage of life with like work and kids and stuff. But anyway, having a guy find Men's Alliance and find that Brotherhood at 22, I think every single guy like our age in our 40s, we're like, that's so incredible. I wish I would have found it in my 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I would have had this when I was your age.
Yeah. The guys, Steel, Viking, Jigsaw, the guys that I'm around at Clover Hill, they tell me the same thing. They're like, I wish when I was your age there was Men's Alliance, and even they're like, I wish I was even in the church at your age, because a lot of them weren't, you know. And looking from my perspective, I don't really understand what they're saying, but like talking to them more and more, I start to get it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's been very impactful for me. The church alone, going through life, you know, unexpected things happen, and you have Men's Alliance, the guys to call on, and you go to church, and you at Clover Hill they tell you to come up, ask for prayer, you know, and when you need prayer you go up there and you ask for prayer, and it you can feel just the love, you know, and I really appreciate that, and I love it, because I didn't really have that growing up. My dad was, like I said, he's an all right guy, but he wasn't really spiritually or mentally wasn't really there for me. Like physically wise, yeah, like he paid the bills, you know, food was on the table, and I'm thankful for that. But I never had that spiritual leader, or I didn't really know how to control my emotions, because he wasn't really a leader in that aspect, you know.
How did you get to Clover Hill Church? What's your spiritual journey here?
So I think about a year and a half ago, I was dating a girl. We had been together for about 8 years in total. And my sister was talking about church all the time. And I was like, you know, let's go. So I started bringing her, being my ex-girlfriend. And she didn't really like it, you know. So I kind of I was being led by her, unfortunately. So I would kind of pop in and out every couple of weeks. And if she wanted to come, she would come. If not, then we probably wouldn't go. And then that's what kind of was the point. We ended up breaking up. She ended up leaving me. Like, we were living together and everything. She ended up moving out. And
you said a year and a half ago you had been dating for 8 years.
Yeah.
So you were with this girl since you were 12?
Since we were middle school, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we dated through middle school. We broke up our freshman year because we ended up going to different high schools. And then we just got right back together after a year of high school. And we've been together. So maybe like 7
Couldn't
and
do
a
the long
half.
distance thing.
Yeah, I know. And then we ended up doing it anyway.
Different high schools, long distance. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, when you're a kid, yeah, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. That's,
Oh, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
that's huge.
That's long distance.
That's your life,
kid,
man.
for sure.
So, yeah, overall, just about 8 years, maybe 7 and a half. Middle school sweetheart, I guess, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But it had reached a point where I was into the church. I wanted to start going to church, and she didn't want to.
Oh, okay.
So that was arguments.
Why did you start wanting to? Like, what was going on that made you start
So
wanting that?
our dynamic was, I was taking care of all of our bills and everything, and she would take care of the house. Kind of like the, I guess, typical, I guess you'd call it. And it was just stressful. So my sister and Showtime would be talking about church and everything, and then I started praying on my own, and I started reading the Bible on my own, and then
Wow.
I kind of wanted to start going to church, and they were going to Clover Hill, so I would bring my ex, and we would go, but she was very, very against a lot of what Stan had preached. I think there was the first sermon we saw, it was about submitting yourself to Christ, and
That's a tough message.
and we went home that day, and she was like, I don't agree with that at all. And I was like, I kind of disagree with you. I think the way Stan explained it made a lot of sense to me, but it didn't make much sense to her. I don't remember the exact wordage he used. It's been a year and a half since then.
Yeah.
But I agreed with what Stan had to say, and she didn't agree. And that was an argument, and it was just a constant like bickering back and forth about a lot of stuff to do with that. And she just was going down a different path than me. She was going out all the time with her friends, not coming home till 4 a.m., you know.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have a problem with it because we've been together so long, you know. I didn't think much of it. But then I started hearing stuff that I didn't want to hear, other guys involved, you know, and we ended up breaking up. And then after we broke up, I found out about a lot of stuff I didn't want to know.
Yeah.
But at that
That's
time,
a tough stage, man, when one person is kind of like grown up,
yeah,
right? Like, and I mean like working full time, right? Like when one person's kind of like the adult, and one person's still trying to like stay young and partying.
yeah,
Like, man, I've seen several of my buddies in the Air Force, you know, either live with a girl or get married to a girl, and it's like she wants to go out and party, and he's got a full-time job, right? And it's like, man, you try to make that work for a while, but it's like one person is gonna have to change, right? Or they're not gonna make it.
yeah. And I don't want to put all the blame on her because I didn't communicate as much as I could.
Sure.
So it was really a lot of both sides, and like I said, we both were just going in different directions.
Do you guys have kids?
No,
Okay.
fortunately, no. And we weren't married. I was about to propose to her, actually. We broke up at the end of August, and we were going to the beach, I think the first or second week of September, and I was planning to propose to her and everything there. I mean, we'd been together so long, I figured, you know, it was time. We were living together. And, you know, as I was coming to God, I felt convicted about a lot of the stuff that we were doing, and we weren't married, you know. So I wanted to kind of make things right, I guess is the way I was thinking. But no, it was, I think God definitely, that was a lesson that he gave me, you know. Taught me how to be treated, like how I wanted to be treated and how I wanted to be loved. Because it was, she was a good person for the majority of our relationship, but at the end there, she, like you said, she got to this point where she just wanted to party. She didn't want to, like, church was not on her mind. Alcohol and clubs were where she was at, you know.
Yeah. So you made the decision to end it.
Yeah, we got into a big argument one day,
Yeah.
and I left the apartment we had. I went out to my uncle's got a bunch of land out in the country. You know, I went and did some redneck stuff, you know, to try and get my mind off everything. And I didn't hear from her the whole day I was gone, which I didn't really have an issue with. I figured she was just giving me my space, you know. I got home and I took a shower, and then she didn't say a single word to me the whole time. And I was like, can we talk at all? And she didn't want to hear anything I had to say. So I told her, I was like, I don't think I could do this anymore. Like, I think it's time that we just split apart. And it was really hard. Like, it was really tough.
Yeah.
Because at the time I was 21. We had been together 8 years. I mean, that's half my life right there, you know. It was really rough.
Did she agree with you?
Yeah. 2 months before that, actually, she was talking about how she wasn't very happy with our relationship. But I told her, I said we should try and communicate more and work on the problems we have, essentially. And I felt like I was working on what I needed to do, but I didn't see much change in her. If anything, I saw her slip more and more into just drinking alcohol every single day. And she was making more money than me at the time, and she was spending all her money on clubbing and alcohol. And it was like, after we had that conversation, that's what it just, like, that was on the incline for her. And I was just trying to, like, communicate, and I was working on it, you know, like, no one's perfect. I was doing the best I could. But it wasn't enough for one side of the relationship trying to fix it, and the other side's out clubbing, doing Lord knows what.
Yeah. Man, especially, you know, you know what you've seen with your mom, and what you've seen with your dad, you know, and then you're living with somebody who's starting to go down that path that you've already seen people go down.
Yeah.
That's a big factor, I'm sure.
And a big problem I had around that time too is I was very addicted to drugs as well. I was smoking a lot of marijuana. I mean, it was bad. It was really bad, and I didn't really have control over my mind. But that was a big part about coming to the Lord is like I never felt that conviction of doing drugs, you know. And then when I started reading the Bible and I started praying to God, like I felt it on my heart that it was an issue, and it was kind of like God pointed out to me. He was like, you're acting like how your mother is, you know. Mm-hmm. She was, whenever she can get a high, she did what she had to do it, and I feel like I was getting to that point, and but like I said, coming to God gave me the conviction to be like, okay, time for a change, and I started getting myself away from all that, and that was a big problem for my own self as well.
Yeah,
just not having control over my own mind. I mean, the Bible talks about having a sober mind, and mm-hmm. I don't think I think about 15 to 20, 21, I don't think I spent more than 2 weeks without getting high. And it was a big problem, obviously.
Yeah.
But I never had that conviction until I started talking to God.
Wow. How long have you been sober?
It's still an on and off battle for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm working on alcohol at the moment now too.
Okay.
So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
But I've been working on this for about a year now.
Man, that's amazing, man. Keep it up, brother.
I'm trying.
You know, I think also like, I don't know how to say this, but just, you know, not beating yourself up.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, is such an important part of this, right? Because man, there's so much like guilt and shame that gets wrapped up mm-hmm. in these issues, you know, and I think especially as men, we feel like, oh, if we can't kick something, if we can't do something, that we're weak, right? And man, there's so many lies that Satan uses here
for sure
to throw at us, like constantly, to try to pull us back in.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yep.
So that was a couple years ago. You guys ended things. What's your life looking like now?
Church orientated for sure. I like going on Sundays, and so I got moved to evening shifts at my job. But okay. Before that, it's been about a month or two. I was doing a lot of, I was going down to Route 1 with a ministry down there. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but we were going to like the motels around there where people mm-hmm. were, you know, doing hard drugs and homeless people as well, and we were handing out food and praying for them. So a lot of my life was just trying to serve the community. And like I said, my mom, I grew up with my mom like that, so I wanted to try and do what I can to help others, you know. So that was a big part of my life for a while. But like I said, I got moved to evening shifts. They needed somebody on the evening. So I stepped up where they needed somebody, you know. And so that took away my ability to help people through the ministry I was working with. But at the same time, it kind of gave me more responsibility in the job that I was doing. So it was beneficial for myself. I think the ministry will be okay without me for sure. They have plenty of people moving around there. I was trying to get more Men's Alliance guys involved. But as you know, I'm 22 and single. I have all the time in the world. Most other guys they got kids, a wife, you know, like they're busy. I get it, you know. But that's a big thing. What I'm working on now is getting the other younger guys that are in Men's Alliance to start serving the community. Because I know a lot of them have so much free time on their hands, mm-hmm. and there's so much better things we could be doing than sitting around playing video games all day or whatever it is they're doing, you know.
Same thing's true for the older guys,
mm-hmm.
right? Like the retired guys,
mm-hmm.
you know. It's like whether you're at the front end or the back end, you know. Younger guys, like you say, you know, video games. A lot of older guys retire. They got nothing to do with all their free time.
That's true. Yeah.
Playing a lot of golf.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever. But man, yeah, that's a great passion.
It's a recipe for isolation. Idle hands are the devil's playground, you know. So you got to keep busy.
Yeah, and I get that. Mm-hmm. When I was doing nothing with my life, I was very just in a bad spot mentally, you know, and then started going to church, started using my hands more and doing stuff with my life, and that's like when the level of depression that I was feeling just started to fade away a bit, because that's been a big part of my life. Is
talk about that.
My growing up with just my dad. He worked at Dominion. He works at Dominion still. He was working 12, 16-hour shifts a lot of my childhood. So I was kind of just home alone with my grandma, and I love my grandma, but she is one of those people who, any way that she can get attention from you, she does what she can, whether it's good attention or bad attention. Like she'll go piss you off to get a reaction out of you because she wants that attention. So growing up a lot of my life, it was just a lot of anger and depression because I didn't have like an actual mother figure there to like sew into me, and show me some love. A lot of it was just like, I don't want to say my dad was absent. He was just busy, and my grandma is over here just trying to make me mad to get a reaction out of me, So I fell into a bad state of depression when I was younger. I was playing sports in high school and I ended up breaking my elbow. And that 1 year I spent apart from my ex-girlfriend, I was dating somebody else, and she ended up cheating on me with my best friend at the time. And all that happened right when I broke my elbow and everything. So I just fell into this pit. And I didn't feel like I started coming out of it until I found God. So there was like a six or 7 year gap of just being in a hole, and like I'm very, very thankful that God, like Jesus, like I found Jesus, and I'm very thankful for that, because without him I'd still be in that hole, and Lord knows what I'd be doing. And I'm just very thankful that there's a church that supports me, and tribes that support me as well.
Man, when you what sport did you hurt your elbow?
I was playing basketball. I wasn't even playing for a team. I was just playing rec or like pickup. Yeah. And I stole the ball from a guy. Was going on the fast break. There was no one near me, so I was like, I'm just gonna go for a dunk. And I went for a dunk. I saw him in the corner of my eye. The guy I stole the ball from jumped up and pushed me midair. And I tried to catch myself, and I landed on my elbow, and it broke. I broke the what makes your arm do this. I broke that. I forget what it's called. So for about 6 months I was stuck in a cast, and like I said, the girl I was with ended up cheating on me. So it was just like I was just taking blows, and I didn't know how. Like I said, I didn't have that.
Is that when you started smoking weed?
That's when it got worse for sure. Yeah, that's when it really started to like intensify.
I think a lot of times like an injury or like some physical problem is like the thing that sets it off for guys, because we're often using sports or working out and something like that, like that's our medicine. If like, even if we don't realize it is, like that's like our identity or it's our outlet or whatever, like basketball. And then like when that gets taken away, you're left just sitting there at home. You're like, what do I do now? And then like we start to bottom out that depression. I went through something like very, very similar to that when I was senior in high school. So I was like 17, and like soccer was my life. Played soccer all the time, and I tore my knee up, and I couldn't play anymore, and broke up with my girlfriend. It was like the exact same thing. I was like, I was going to school on crutches, and my girlfriend, so I'm like all sad from that breakup. I'm all down. Can't play soccer. Walking to I had a Jeep. I had an '87 Jeep Wrangler. I can't remember if I've ever told this story on the podcast or not.
I don't think so.
But like I had my backpack on, and I was going to class, and I remember, and it was raining. And so I was like getting in the Jeep with my crutches. I remember this like it was yesterday. And my mom leaned out like the side door of the house, and she was like, "Have a good day." And I was like so pissed and depressed, and like I didn't even smile back. I just looked at her and I said, "It can't get any worse."
Oh gosh.
That's how stupid I was. Like what a punk I was, like here I am driving a Jeep to a private Christian school. And I think it can't get any worse.
Exactly.
God was like, "Oh." And like 10 minutes later, I'm driving on the highway, and my Jeep caught on fire, just out of the blue.
Lord,
I'm on I-85. It is. I'm on I-85, and out of my peripheral vision, I saw flames, and turned around and looked back. and flames were coming up through the holes in the floor. There's holes in the floor of a Jeep, you know, to let water drain out.
That's crazy.
And I just pulled over. I pulled over, got out, got my crutches, grabbed my book bag, and start hobbling away from the thing. And it
my gosh.
It hit the gas tank and just like whoom, like the flames went flying out the wheel well, you know,
crazy.
the rear wheel well.
How have you never told me?
And this is before cell phones, because that's how old we are. When we were in high school, if your car caught on fire, you didn't have anybody to call. Yeah. And I was just standing there on the side of the road and like instantly remembered saying it can't get any worse.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man. But like that depression of like no girl, no sports.
Yep.
No car,
no walking. You know, it's just like we're gonna turn to something.
Yeah.
Right. It's like we're either gonna start drinking, or start smoking, or start having a lot of sex,
watching porn.
Yeah. We're gonna turn to something, and it's like if we turn to anything other than God, it's gonna be a recipe for disaster.
I agree. Yeah.
In the long run, whatever you turn to is going to create a new problem. It's going to be a whole new problem. Yep. So it's amazing that like I just can't believe that like you've already gone down that path and figured that out and then made the correct turn. And figured this out and like started reading your Bible. Like, man, I didn't start reading my Bible until I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
You know, I was later half of my 30s.
Mm-hmm. That was the thing. My ex-girlfriend's mom gifted us a family Bible because, you know, we were planning on getting married and starting a family. So that was what I was starting to read out of. And I had the Bible app on my phone, and I would read that when I was at work, when I had downtime. And that's where I don't think she ever had that point in her life where she had to, like how, you know, me and you both experienced, where you had to pick something. And she didn't pick God, even though I was trying to lead her there. She picked alcohol and clubbing and other men, and that led her down a path of she started being really depressed at the end of our relationship, and it was like no matter what I could do, I couldn't put a dent in that, you know.
Right.
And you know, it just reached the point where it didn't work for either of us.
Yeah. Man.
And it's hard now because looking at other people we went to school with, there's a lot of people who have been dating since middle school that are still together. A lot of people I'm friends with, you know?
Yeah.
And seeing their relationship doing just fine, you know? It's very just, it's hard to see that, you know, because that was what I wanted. You know, I wanted this one woman that I've been with since middle school. I wanted us to continue this relationship, grow old together, you know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, once I found the church, I wanted to have a more Christ-centered relationship, raise children in the church. But not getting caught up on that is a big thing. Because I could sit here and think about that all day, but like, what good is that doing for me, you know? And yeah, that's another big thing is, you know, just seeing other people who pretty much had the same timeline as us and they're doing just fine.
I think people can make that an idol.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know, like their relationships they're in, you know, like they want to be married, they want to have a family, they want to have kids. Those are all good things. But people can make that like their number one priority. And they'll sacrifice other things like their relationship with God to get that thing. Hey, men. Thrivent is proud to support Men's Alliance's goals, and financial advisor Dr. Andrew Newman, call sign Sage, is excited to help tribe members and those they care about make financial choices guided by their Christian values. Faith is what fuels Andrew. Does it fuel you too? Call Andrew today at 612-246-0725 so you can take care of yourself and those you care about, including your local tribe and Men's Alliance.
No, I definitely idolized her and having that with her, you know. So after we broke up, it was very like I was going to church and, you know, read my Bible, praying, going to Men's Alliance, but there was still just a tugging at my heart because I wanted that with her, you know, so it was very hard to let go. We were still in communication for a little bit after we broke up, you know, and she actually, I think it was about a month after we broke up, she called me crying one night and was saying how it was a mistake that we broke up and that she wanted to fix things. And I said, like, I really do love you, but I need you to like make some changes in your life because I can't, there's nothing more I can really do for you. And she was like, I promise that I will make that change. I was like, okay, I hope to start seeing you at church, and I hope you start reading your Bible and you try to cut alcohol out as much as you can. And 2 months after that, I didn't hear a single word. My birthday ended up going by, and I was very hurt because she didn't say anything to me. You know, we had spent 8 years together. We'd known each other 10 years at that point, you know, and it hurt my feelings a lot not hearing from her. I tried to speak to her again. I called her one night, and I hear a dude laughing in the background, you know, and that really hurt a lot because it was the last conversation we had. She was swearing to God that she was going to change her life so that we could fix our problems. And then the next time I call her, I hear another dude laughing in the background, and she's like giggling, like, I don't want to talk to you right now, and hangs up the phone, you know. It's just like that was a moment that I got stuck on for months after that point. And that was a big reason why I ended up admitting myself to a mental hospital, because I couldn't get my mind off of her and how she's seeing other people. It was making me put a hold on life because I was sitting there dwelling on the same issue, you know, for months. So
felt stuck.
Exactly, yeah. And I just hit a point where I just needed a break from the world. So I ended up going to Tucker's at I forget what hospital it's at.
You just went and checked yourself in?
Yeah, I took myself.
Yeah.
I called my sister. I said, hey, because I have a cat. I was like, can you take care of my cat while I'm gone? I don't know how long I'll be gone. She was like, yeah. But that's the thing is she wasn't able to take care of my cat as much as she wanted to because she was busy too. But the men's alliance guys, the guys in my tribes, they took care of it. You know, they took care of my place while I was gone. And the thing is, when I was in the hospital, the first day I was there, I was sitting in like the waiting area to get put into the area they help people. And I was sitting beside a drawer, and the lady opened the drawer, and I saw a Bible in there. It was the New Testament. And I said, is there any way I could have that? It was like ones they hand out. And she was like, yeah. So she gave it to me, and the whole time I was there, I was just reading the New Testament.
Wow.
And it really felt like, in that moment, it was like God was like, I see you. Like, I understand. Like it's going to be okay, you know? So I sat there and I read the Bible the whole time I was there. I ended up seeing the nurse that I had went to Clover Hill. So she went to the church I was in, and I talked to her some, and she was very helpful, just kind of helping me piece my mind together, you know? And some of the people that were in there, I actually had some ties to through family. My dad was friends with one of the guys that was in there, and, you know, he's like, I told him my name. He's like, Roach? He's like, are you the son of Michael? And I was like, yeah, that's my dad. And he was like, oh, I grew up with your dad. You know, it was like, it just made me feel less alone, you know?
Okay.
Especially with having the Bible there. It was very, very like it was all that was supposed to happen, I guess, you know?
What did you say when you went there? Like when you went there to check yourself in, what did you say was the reason why you were going there?
So the day that I was going to check myself in, I live on a third floor, like the top floor apartment where I live. And I was standing on the balcony, and I was looking down, and I was like really contemplating just jumping off and just hopefully not surviving, you know? So I stepped back, and I realized that's not a thought that I want to have. So I went there, and I told him exactly that. I was like, I was really thinking about taking my own life. And yeah, I hit a point where I was just so depressed and stuck on the wrong things that I thought it was a better answer to just take my own life than to get help. But then I had that moment to stop and be like, I need to get help. It reached that point, you know?
That's amazing that you that you caught that, right? That you caught that thought, and you realized, like, I don't want to be thinking this. Like, I don't want to go down this path. Man, how long were you there?
Just a little under a week. I think it was like 6 days. Because that whole time I was there, I was just reading the Bible. I was like, it felt like I was getting rid of a lot of thoughts I had, and I was replacing them with the word of God. And I was talking to God the whole time, and I was praying to him the whole time. I was just praying that I would be healed, you know? And like the third or fourth day in there, I started feeling so much better.
Wow.
And it was crazy. They had 2 TVs in there, and nobody was watching something on one of the TVs. So I went over there and I put on, it was a movie about Jesus. I don't remember the name, but it was like his whole life and all the way up to him getting crucified. And so I was sitting there watching the movie by myself. Another guy came over, watched it with me. And this one lady came over. She had a lot of issues. She was like, "This movie is awful. This is horrible. You believe in this?" And I didn't have any answer for her. And she ended up throwing a box of tissues at me. I couldn't even tell you why. I was just sitting there watching the movie. It was like, it was crazy. It was really crazy. But yeah, the whole time I was there, I was just reading the word and praying to God, talking to God.
Wow. What was it? Did you feel like you were ready to leave?
Yeah.
Like how did the leaving part go? How does that work?
So about the 4th or 5th day, I started feeling a lot better. And I told them, I was like, "Hey, I want to start like working towards getting out." And they brought a psychiatrist in, and I worked with her and I talked to her. And yeah, the 5th day, she was like, "You're going to be good to go tomorrow." So the next day I met with her again. We talked again. She was like, "You seem fine. Like, I think you're good to go." So yeah, I admitted myself on my own, and then I kind of reached the point where I felt a lot better. And I pretty much just asked if I can go home now. Yeah. And they basically did an evaluation, and they came to the conclusion that I'm fine, you know.
Are you glad you did it?
Oh,
was
yeah.
it a good experience?
100%. Cool. I needed that. I needed like a break from society, essentially. Because after me and my ex broke up, I found out about a lot of stuff that was going on, you know. But one of her friends kept sending me, like, she would text me and be like, "Hey, she's with this guy tonight, and she's out clubbing at this." And then a friend of mine that I have been friends with her since the 8th grade, probably. She texted me and was like, "Hey, are you and your ex still together?" Because I guess she didn't know at this point. And I was like, "No, why?" She was like, "I just saw her with like 3 other guys at a bar." And I was like, I appreciate that, but I just don't tell me that again. Yeah. You know, I'm good. Like I've heard enough. Yeah. I'm good. I don't want to hear any of this anymore. Yeah. But that was like right before I ended up admitting myself. It was like, I just kept I was stuck in my own head about it. People kept telling me about her, and I couldn't stop thinking about her, you know? So I felt like I hit a point where I just needed to get away from everything, because everything that I was around was just either reminding me of her, or I couldn't stop thinking of her, you know? Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what, life is hard. Life is so hard. And I don't think a lot of people, maybe in this country, most people, don't figure out how hard it is, don't see how hard it is until they're much older. Right. But, you know, there's people with different circumstances, different environments they grow up in where, man, it's hard from the beginning. It's hard as kids. But I think that's one of the things you learn either way in life. Either you learn it early or you learn it late, but eventually everybody's going to learn that, like, life is really difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's like, I was talking with my wife the other day, and I was realizing, I was like, you know, it's like the first half of your life, like, is all addition. Like, you're getting things, right? Like, you start new schools, new jobs, new relationships, start having kids. You know, it's like you buy your first house. It's like your first half of your life is a lot of addition. But then there's going to come a point where it's going to start becoming all subtraction. You're going to lose loved ones. Relationships are going to end. People are going to die. You're going to quit your job. You're going to retire, right? It's like suddenly there's a point where everything starts to go away, you know. And we were talking about, you know, her dad, my father-in-law, he's in a rest home now. You know, it's like he's at the very end. Like, almost everything that can be subtracted has been subtracted. Yeah. Right. It's like this guy, you know, he's had a time in his life where he raised kids. He was an evangelist. He, you know, had property, he had work, he was busy, he had kids, has grandkids, and now he has a chair. Right? He's got like the rest home bed.
Yeah.
But then he's got like his chair. This is like my chair. I brought this chair in, Yeah. And then he's got his 3 meals a day, right?
Yep.
And it's like, man, that's the story of life. Like, that's how it goes for everybody.
Yep.
There's going to be a lot of addition, and then there's going to be a lot of subtraction. And the story ends the same for everybody. You die.
Yeah.
You lose everything, and you die.
Yeah.
Everything goes away. Everyone goes away.
Yep.
And realizing, like, whatever, some people that all happens to them at 20. Some people it doesn't happen to them until 80. But no matter when it happens, the key is realizing none of it was ever yours to begin with.
Yep.
You never had any of this to begin with. God was just letting you borrow it for a season. And all you've ever actually had is God. That's good. That's all you've had the whole time. Everything else was a temporary distraction, a temporary illusion. Even the good stuff, even your marriage, your I've been married 25 years. It's like, she's not mine, right? She's God's.
Yeah.
And he's just allowed me to live with this woman for a while. But this whole life is a vapor. Right, the whole life is passing us by so quick, and I feel like you're such an old soul. Like you've gone through so much. Like holy cow, man! Like you've already gone through a lot of addition and subtraction at an early age. But
anybody who wears a cowboy hat has a different outlook on life.
As soon as we walked in, I knew this was going to be an incredible podcast.
I saw something, I shared it with you the other day, where it said, life starts at 40. Everything prior is just research.
Man, that's good.
I thought that was like,
good,
you're doing really, a lot of research.
Really insightful, And it kind of makes you feel, it's like, okay, I still got some life left. Hopefully I figured a lot of stuff out by 40, And, but yeah, that's true in my life for sure.
Yeah, I feel like you're figuring out stuff in your 20s that I didn't figure out till 36, 37.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. How did you get Seeker? What's the story behind that?
So, growing up my entire life, I have definitely always known God. I knew at some points in my life I was like, there is a God. I don't know. At one point, I think I thought Buddhism was the answer. That's 14, 15-year-olds me logic, but
man, you are an old soul. What 14, 15-year-old is considered
good?
So, but as I got older and older, I obviously knew there was a God, and slowly and slowly, I knew it was the God, Christianity. And
how did you come to that conclusion?
Kind of just in my own thoughts.
Like God revealed himself to you?
Essentially, I don't want to say it like that, but essentially that's pretty much, I was just thinking about it, and I was thinking about Islam, I was thinking about Buddhism, I was thinking about Christianity, and I was like, Christianity just makes the most sense. It's got to be him. That's got to be the real God. And then they call me Seeker because, like I said, I've always known God, but I didn't start seeking Jesus until Men's Alliance. So Viking, the now past leader of Grindstone, he gave me the call sign Seeker. It was between Seeker, Redbeard, and Arrow. And Seeker won by overwhelming odds.
Is there a moment where you actually came to Jesus and became a Christian?
So when me and my ex were together, we were struggling. I was struggling with bills. I was just making ends meet. I was paying the bills, and I had $100 to last me 2 weeks, And one day we were laying down for bed, and I prayed. I was like, God, just please show me a sign that you're here with me, that you're walking with me through life, And we always kept our blinds closed in our bedroom, but there was a little itty bitty hole. And I woke up in the morning, and the sun was shining directly in my eyes when I woke up the next day. So I just took it as a sign. I was like, that's got to be God showing me I'm here. And from that moment, I was like, That's what really got me. I was like, I'm going to read my Bible. I'm going to pray. I'm going to go to church. But at the time, I was still being led by the woman I was with. So I was allowing her to drag me away from church. And like, I went to Men's Lines in 2023, but she wasn't happy that the little bit of time that I had outside of work, I was spending away from her. So I went 3 times. I was about to get my call sign, and I just stopped going.
Huh.
Yeah, it was interesting, but I really do think that all that happened for a reason, you know?
For sure.
I think everything that happened is exactly how it was supposed to happen.
It always is. It always is. Man, it's interesting. You mentioned that earlier, too, about how you were being led by her, right? And like sometimes she would want to go to church, so you'd go, right? But if she didn't, you wouldn't. I think that is so true for so many men, but they don't realize that, and they've never said that out loud.
I didn't realize that, like, while we were together, it never dawned on me, you know? But as within that last month of being together, I was like thinking about it. I was like, I'm not going to church because of her. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I started talking to her more and more about it. And like I said, we were just going in 2 different directions.
I think one of the it's like a lie. It's also like a little bit of a trap that keeps so many men from leading is this idea that they have in their head of they're trying to please her, right? And you can almost lie to yourself and fool yourself into thinking that you're being a good leader by doing what she wants to do, right? By like asking like, hey, do you want to go to church tomorrow? And she's like, no, I don't want to. And you're like, okay, then we won't go. And you're telling yourself this story in your head of, see what a great leader I am. Like, I don't make people do stuff they don't want to do. Like, I'm taking her feelings into account. Like, I'm not being a dictator that just says we're going to church. And that's the story you're telling yourself the whole time. You're not leading at all. She's leading you.
Yep, exactly.
And you know exactly what you should be doing, and you're not doing it.
Yep.
And you're convincing yourself that that's somehow being a good leader is doing what she wants to do. Truth is, like, you're not being a leader at all. You're being a follower.
Yep.
She's setting the tempo of the spiritual health of the relationship, not you, right? And I think so many men fool themselves into that little path.
No, I definitely did. You basically just described the exact thought process that I had while we were together. I had Friday or Saturday come around. I'd be like, hey, because she worked Monday to Friday. She was always off on the weekends. Sometimes I had to work Sundays, so I guess that's my fault that we missed church on those days. But Friday or Saturday come around, I'd be like, hey, are we going to church on Sunday? And she'd be like, I don't know if I feel like it. And I'd be like, okay.
That is the American story right there. Man, one time, me and my wife, we were kind of in the church shopping stage, so we were trying different churches. And we'd try this one for a couple weeks, and we'd try this one. And, dude, this hit me like a ton of bricks, man. It was exactly what you just described. It was like a Saturday evening, and I think I said something to my wife like, so do you want to go back to one of the churches we've already tried, or do you want to try a new one? And this was not the first time I had asked that, and this was not the first time we had that conversation for sure, but she was obviously just like tired of the whole conversation. And I thought I was being a really good leader, like asking her. And she just goes, I don't know, just lead. She probably rolled her eyes. It was like exasperation, right? She was like, I don't know, just lead us.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I felt like music started playing, right? Like theme music started playing, and the wind started blowing, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Then I know exactly where we're going. We're going to this place at this time in the car. All right. Done. And I was like,
easy.
It's like we bend over backwards.
We're having steak for lunch.
We bend over backwards to not lead.
Yeah.
Right. Because, and you realize too, like, it's all one of Satan's weapons, right? It's just one of his tools that he's got. He's like, watch, I can get all these Christian American men to not lead their families because I'm going to convince them that if you just straight up lead, that's being
Toxic.
like, yeah, that's toxic. That's being a dictator.
Yeah.
That's being, bossy, right? You need to ask them and just do what they want, right? And it's like, I think like there was something within my wife there that she wanted to be led, and that's how God wired us all, them and us. And it's like anytime we get it backwards, where we're sitting there asking them, honey, are we going to church tomorrow? And they're like, no. And we're like, okay. Oh man.
Yeah, that was definitely exactly how our relationship was going at that point. I think growing up with her together, it was when I started to change who I once was. It was very clear that she fell in love with the non-Christian version of me. She liked, sex, and she liked that I wasn't really being a good person. She liked that I was like this quote unquote bad boy. I didn't listen to anybody. I did whatever I wanted. And she liked that. Like she loved it. And then when I started making that change, she was like, "This is not who I fell in love with."
Yeah.
And when I was like, "Let's go to church," and she wasn't going for it because she didn't want that version of me.
Did she also not like you trying to stop smoking weed?
She definitely didn't. She definitely had a problem with me at that point with how much that I was smoking. So she kind of did agree with that.
Okay.
That's the thing too, is she never smoked weed until I, got her into it. She drank alcohol for sure, but she never did anything other than that until I was leading her into that. I led her very, very far away from God, and then when I had that realization that Christ is Lord and I'm going to follow Him, she already accepted that that's where she wanted to be. And then, like I said, I made that change, and that wasn't who she fell in love with.
In any relationship, like when one person starts to get healthy, whether it's spiritually, physically, even financially, like when one person says, the path we've been on is not good, I want to make healthy changes, the other person in the relationship, they're either going to change with you, they're going to either make the same change, or that relationship is going to grow apart. And that's like a big thing. I remember a guy that I was in the Air Force with, he was telling me this story one night. He was like, I used to be really fat. And he was like a totally, not fat dude. I would not have guessed that. He was like, I used to be really fat. And he was like, and then I lost all this weight. And he was like, my wife got totally pissed off at me. And she tries to get me to eat more. And she tries to like make all these desserts. She wanted to keep me fat because she's fat. And she didn't like it when I lost all this weight. And I was like, what? Yeah. I was like, that's crazy. Like I was so young, and like that was like the first I heard of that. But like, I always thought like that's like the most like glaring, obvious example, right? Of somebody wanting to keep their spouse trapped with them. It's like, hey, I'm stuck in this thing and I don't want to see you get out of it, right? Because then I'll feel alone. Right. So we put these webs, on our partners sometimes to try to keep them stuck with us, because we know if they change, I'm gonna have to change with them, and I don't think I can do it. And then I think women especially, they just have better intuition. They see the long game a lot quicker, right? They're like, this guy changes, he's not gonna like me anymore. He's gonna be looking for a girl that's like that.
It's so it's funny you say that, because when we were together, I was just about to hit 240 pounds, and it was not a healthy 240 pounds. It was a gut of 240 pounds.
Really?
I was like severely out of shape. So one day I came home from work and I took my work shirt off and I had my like undershirt on, and she saw my gut and she goes, whew. I was like, no way. No, I was like, I'm going to the gym. I put my gym clothes on, I went straight to the gym. And since then, I started losing weight and losing weight and losing weight. And as I started getting like into a better physical form, she would start having all these like anxious thoughts, like, you're going to leave me for somebody better. Or like, and I was like, or you could just come to the gym with me. And that thought could just be erased. But like you said, she would rather try and like drag me down. Like she would make dinner most nights, and she started giving me like double portions.
Crazy.
It went from kind of woman.
It went from one chicken breast and a little bit of noodles to like a plate full of noodles and 2 chicken breasts. Like all of a sudden we have desserts every night. Like I'm like,
yeah.
I never really.
I mean, like that's calculated. Man.
Yeah, I know.
That ain't by accident.
I know. I didn't pick up on that until after we broke up. I was rethinking about a lot of stuff that we went through, and that was one of the things I thought about. And it was funny that you brought that up, because that's essentially what happened between me and her.
Oh my gosh. I read a story one time. It was like in a magazine, like a men's fitness magazine or something. I was reading about this guy who he was trying to lose weight. He was like super fit guy. He was like a triathlete, and he measured every calorie. Mm-hmm. He knew every calorie that he burned and every calorie that he took in. And he was trying to drop some weight for a race. And so he started taking in less calories. And it didn't work. And he was like, mathematically, something is off here.
Yeah.
Something is wrong. This should have worked. I should have dropped 5 or 10 pounds by now. He found out that, and I can't remember the name of it. We used to give this to my daughters when they needed to gain weight. I can't remember the name of it, but there's this powder, and it's like, it's odorless, tasteless powder that you can add to food. It just adds calories to food. They give this to underweight people.
Interesting.
And like, doctors prescribe it all the time. They tell you to go get it, add it. You know, if you got somebody that's underweight, house, I can't remember what the name of it is. But anyway, this guy discovered his wife had been adding that powder to his food. And that's why he couldn't drop weight.
That's crazy.
Like, and she was just doing in the story, like it wasn't even the dynamic that we're discussing here. It was like she was just pissed off at him.
Oh.
She was just angry that he was doing this whole thing and pursuing this whole thing.
That's
and
crazy.
You know, she was just trying to sabotage his gains, his improvement. She was just like throwing a monkey wrench into it. And it took him a long time to discover. He found this powder. It's like, what the heck is this? And then he researched it. It was like, oh my gosh,
that's wild.
Yeah,
and any crime, you know, if the person was like killed by poisoning, like 9 times out of 10, you're looking for a woman who killed the person.
You're checking the spouse.
They poison. So if you're a man and you want to get away with kill somebody, poison you'll be the last.
Okay, delete that part from the podcast. But it didn't work so well for that dentist that I've been reading about in the news for the past couple of months. But do Google searched poisons that don't show up in autopsies. Like, this was your Google search,
I remember
dude?
you told me that. It's weird. They will mess with your food, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. And stories like that and what I've been through, it's really shown me like it's very important about who you decide to want to marry and who you want to live your life with.
Most important decision.
If she's not willing to be led, then it's really hard as a man to have a solid relationship there.
I mean, I know you have a lot of trauma and all that from that relationship, but you still have a ton to be thankful for that you guys don't have kids, that you didn't get married. I mean, she can just, it's great that can just be a memory in your past and you're not connected to this person for the rest of your life.
I got really, really lucky because she was driving this like 2013 Hyundai and I could not figure out what was wrong with it, but it kept burning oil. I was putting oil in it like every week or two. I replaced a catalytic converter on it. I put some money into that car trying to fix it. And I couldn't get it fixed. So I told her, we hit a point where I was like, I'm tired of putting money in this thing. We're going to sell it. I'm going to buy a truck. You can drive my car, you know? So I gave her my car, no questions asked. And I bought a truck, you know? And then that was about 4 months before we broke up. And before I did all that, I was like, are you sure this is what you want to do? And at that time, she was having doubts about our relationship, but she still went with it, you know? But then, you know, she had been driving my car. We ended up breaking up. She was like, "Can I keep the car?" I was like, "No, it's got my name on it." Like, I told her, I was like, when we get married, I was going to put your name on it, you know, but it's no, like,
good for you.
Yeah, I got lucky. I got really lucky.
Can I keep your car?
Yeah, I know. I was like, no, I'm good. It's still mine.
Yeah.
Now it's all keyed up.
I'm gonna need that car back.
Yeah.
So, you know, here you are now, gone through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Checked yourself in, checked yourself out. You know, found this tribe that's helping you. What's next for you? What are you moving towards?
Just the generation that I'm a part of is very, very lost. And I understand that because I was like them, you know, and I really want to try and make a change for them. Coming on the podcast, that video I did with Clover Hill.
Yeah.
When I posted that on my social medias, and I had people who had never been receptive to any religion at all text me saying, like, "This is amazing. Like, I want to know more." You know what I mean? And I want to do that. I want to make a change in this generation. Because like I said, I know how they think. I know what it's like. You know, like I said, at one point I was thinking like Buddhism was the answer, you know, and a lot of kids my age are thinking similar ideas, or they think Islam is the answer. But that's a big reason why I'm going through patch right now, because I need the ammunition to be able to guide this generation to Christ, you know. And that's kind of where I'm at now.
Man, I can't wait to see.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see how God uses you next. I can't wait to see what you're doing in 10 years.
I'm excited for sure. I'm just praying on it and asking my friends close to me to pray on it. And like I said, the friend group that I grew up with, they were never receptive to any talk about Christ at all. But they've seen a change in me, you know, and they're interested now. You know, they'll talk to me about it.
Wow.
One of my buddies, I invited him to church a couple months after me and my ex had broke up, and I love him, bit of a drug addict. He was like, I'll come if I can do magic mushrooms, and I was like, no, you're not coming to church with me. So recently, I talked to him about it again, and he was like, he actually had a normal like response. He was like, I've actually been thinking about it recently. No talk about doing drugs or anything, then going, you know, like a normal like, you know what, like, that sounds like a good idea, you know? And I think a lot of that is through seeing the change that has happened within me, you know? Because I was in a very similar spot to him a couple years ago, you know?
Yeah. Wow. Man, God's going to use you to reach a whole group of people, a whole different age group, different, you know, backgrounds that other people can't reach. You know, everything that you go through is for a reason, so you can turn around and help people who are going through something similar.
Yeah.
Man, that's incredible. Yeah, it's awesome. You're already seeing this happen.
Yeah.
Right. You're already bringing people towards Christ, pointing them towards Christ, just through people seeing your life.
Yeah, I'm just doing what I can to plant seeds. Whether I'm the one that waters them or watches it grow, I mean, that doesn't essentially matter to me. I just want to plant the seeds and hope that they do grow eventually, you know, whether it's by me or somebody else.
Yeah.
But that really is a big part of like where I want to go and who I want to be. 'Cause like this generation is just like, I love them. I love my friends and stuff, but they're all very lost. And like I said, I felt the same way. And it wasn't until I found Jesus that I stopped feeling so lost, you know.
What do you think is the appeal? Because not only are they lost, but they're searching for something, right? And what do you think is the appeal to Buddhism? How did that even get on your radar as like a teenager growing up in Virginia? Like, how does Buddhism get on your radar? What was the appeal there?
Somebody I went to school with, their dad was a Buddhist, and they talked to me a little bit about it. So I looked into it a little bit, and I was like, you know what, I kind of like this, you know. But like I said, as I looked into Islam, I looked into Christianity. It just seemed like Christianity was the more, I guess, factual one. And but like my generation, I don't really understand. I think it's all about like love yourself now, you know. So they're very like in tune with themselves, and I think a lot of the stuff that has to do with Buddhism kind of like goes along with that.
It's all internal.
Yeah,
it's like look within yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I'm not in their heads or anything, but like based on what I can see, it seems like that may be what it is.
Yeah.
And social media has a very, very big play in that too, because you see so many different perspectives. And unfortunately, I don't know, I've noticed it for sure. A lot of people who speak about Jesus on social media, they don't get the same like views and attention that other religions do for sure.
Really?
And a lot of people that I'm friends with on like Instagram or Facebook that are in my generation, like you can see like if somebody's liked a post now, you know, and I see them liking posts about like Buddhism and how it's spiritually freeing and they're in tune with themselves. And what's the one with the stars, you know, like they're a Pisces or you know what I'm talking about? That's a big one too.
Okay.
They think that astronomy, they think that is like end all be all, like that's the answer, like if you're born on this day and this month then you act this way, and they live their life by that. I know
people are really into like horoscopes.
I know people have changed.
I didn't realize horoscopes had made a big comeback.
Oh, my generation loves it. It's crazy. I know people, I grew up with people and they were like one way their entire life, and then they found that out and they were like, oh, I was born on this day, I'm supposed to act this way. They start acting that way because they believe that so heavily.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like they're lost. Like they're looking for an answer and they think they found it even though it's the wrong answer.
Yeah.
They just go with it because like when you come to Christ talks about how the world's going to hate you as it hated him, you know.
Yep.
They hear that and they're like, no, I'm good.
It's a bad sales pitch, right?
Exactly, yep.
Like a man-made religion would have never come up with this.
Exactly.
Yeah, give all your money to the poor, remain sexually abstinent, pick up your cross, and follow a dude who got crucified.
Yep.
No thanks.
Exactly.
I'd rather just meditate on a mountaintop and look for, you know, inner peace.
Yep.
I totally get the appeal for Islam for men. Like I totally get why, like it's such a masculine religion. It's like got a checklist to follow. It's like, hey, do these 5 things and you'll make it into paradise with 70 virgins. It's like if a dude didn't invent that religion, I don't know what, you know. It's like because we want to do something. We want to be given a checklist. We want to be told, here's what you can do to earn paradise. Right, very masculine. That's why, you know, like so many guys go to jail. They convert to Islam in jail. When we had Free on the podcast, you know, he came very close. He was debating Muslims in jail all the time, and they almost converted him.
Yeah, it's super popular.
It's very masculine, right? It's do stuff. And guys, we want to be given a checklist of stuff to do. And Christianity is so hard for men because it literally says like there's nothing you can do. You're a broken sinner and you can never earn your salvation. And God had to come down here and die to pay for your sins for you, because that's how helpless you are. And your only way to salvation is by putting your trust in him, Jesus Christ. And we hear that and we're like, okay, but what do I need to do? Like, no, were you not listening? There's nothing you can do. Okay. All right, so go to church then? You're like, stop. There's nothing you can do, right? It's hard. It's a hard message for men.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Admit that you're a broken sinner in need of a savior. Man, we don't like that. We want to be our own savior.
Yeah, from a worldly perspective, Islam sounds perfect. You
Yeah.
know, like you're like, oh, women, I can have as many women as I want, you know?
Yeah.
And like you said, the checklist, like they're
Yeah.
I know a lot of people I went to high school with, or they go by that now, and you know, I know why they do, you know. But I just think, I mean, Jesus is the answer, and I'm trying to spread that to people like around my age and in my generation. But like you said, it's a bad sales pitch, and they don't want to hear it, you know. I understand where they're coming from because, like I said, I was there, but like I just want them to be a bit more open to it and just listen, you know.
Yeah.
Read the word a little bit. Pray to God. Just see where it goes. Yeah.
It's powerful. That's why, like, I think you were talking about, you know, you use this analogy of like, you know, watering and planting seeds, right? And like, I grew up thinking, you know, you had to get the person to the altar. You had to get them, you know, to give their life to Christ in that encounter, which is like such a high pressure thing to try to get somebody to become a Christian. But when you take on the mindset that you're describing of, hey, I just need to plant a seed. I just need to plant a seed, or maybe I just need to water a seed that somebody else has planted in this person's life, and realizing like this is a process. This person's going to need to hear a lot of little things over a period of time that kind of nag at them and bug them and keep them awake at night and get them thinking about this. And when you realize like, hey, my goal now in every encounter is just plant that seed, you know, water that seed that's been planted in this person's life. Now there's no pressure. Now it's something like, oh, I can do that. Right. And like what you're talking about doing is like being this gardener to your generation who's searching and they need something. Right. And just being able to say, you know, Christianity is the best explanation for the evidence.
Yep.
Right. Like you were talking about, it's like, it seems to be the one that has the most facts behind it. And I think that that's such a fresh perspective for the world to hear, especially, you know, younger people. And I hate saying like your generation. No, it makes me sound super old, you know. My son Braden, and he's always saying that I'm saying that. He's like, everything is your generation. I was like, really? I said it. He's like, yeah. But that's it. It's like we can relax and be so confident because we actually have the truth on our side, right? It's like this is reality, and it's like you can go try these other things if you want, but I guarantee you they're gonna leave you empty. They're not gonna work because they're all counterfeits, right? Like you can try Buddhism, good luck. You know, you can try Islam, good luck. You can try all these things, but none of them, the secret that we know is none of them are going to work for you because they're not true. But as soon as a person turns to Jesus Christ, it's like, holy smokes, your life is about to change. Right? Because this is what's true.
Yeah, I think I think of it like planting a seed is kind of like having a rock in your shoe. You know what I mean? You're walking and you keep feeling it, you know, and it's annoying. And then you finally like investigate it and you start seeing, you start finding stuff out. And that's kind of how I think about it too.
That's so perfect. I like how you said it. You investigate it.
Yep.
Eventually you're gonna be like, what the heck is going on down here? All right, let's stop. Let's see what's causing this.
And I recently I actually got the chance to plant a seed, water the seed, and watch it grow. So the job that I do machinery, and I got my job through Men's Alliance, actually. The past Victor Tribe leader, Jigsaw, offered me a job.
Oh, yeah.
And I work with him now. And then we hired a 19-year-old about 4 months ago. His name's Noah. One day he heard me and my buddy Slingshot at work talking about Men's Alliance and the Bible and just having a normal conversation that we typically would have at work, you know. And he's asking questions, and he seems very interested. And then I was like, you want to come to church this Sunday? He came to church that Sunday. He enjoyed the message Stan had preached. He went up for prayer, and I went up for prayer too for my father, I think. And finished up what I was doing. I look over, and Noah is just bawling, like tears running down his face. I go over there, and I place a hand on him while he's getting prayed for, and he gives me a hug afterwards, and he's talking to me. He was like, I needed this. He was like, I don't feel so empty anymore. Like, and we've talked about it some more and more. And then eventually he was like, can I start coming to Men's Alliance? And I was like, yeah, of course. So he goes to Grindstone now on Saturdays. He got his call sign, Rumble.
Wow.
He did what is it, wrestling in high school, so we call him Rumble. And I actually had the honor 2 weeks ago to baptize him at Clover Hill.
Oh my gosh.
So,
all because of a conversation you were having at work.
Yep. Yeah. Slingshot, the tribe leader for Armor at Clover Hill, me and him were having a conversation. And like I said, Noah, or now he's known by Rumble, was just listening in. And he liked what we were talking about. I don't remember exactly what we were talking about. I think we were going back and forth about one of the books of the Bible. And he was just sitting there listening. And he just wanted to know more, And then so I invited him to church, and I mean, the rest is history at this point.
Holy Spirit takes it from there.
Yeah. And he's working on getting his coin now. And then he's interested in doing patch, but he's still so new in his faith.
Yeah.
I've helped him put a plan together to get ready for it,
Awesome.
So he's moving along.
And you're in Carry the Fire right now.
Yeah. I mean, tomorrow will be my third class.
Week 3, man.
Yep.
This is awesome.
Yeah, that was
exciting.
Question.
What's your class number?
40.
40. Okay.
Nice.
Man.
What number coin are you?
894.
Sweet.
I saw I don't know the guy's name. If you listen to this, shoot us an email or comment. I want to know your name, but I saw somebody posted on social media their tattoo that they just got of their coin. Mm-hmm. They got their coin inked on them, and they are 1259. So whoever out there is 1259.
Yeah.
That was some sweet ink. And I sent a picture of that ink to my son, Animal. He's coin number 9. Mm-hmm. And I said, "This guy, here's the guy, 1,250 coins after you."
Yeah.
He liked that. That was cool.
Awesome.
I feel like at Grindstone 2 weeks ago, the guy who got coined was in the 2700s.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, we're in the 2000s.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact. It was 27 something. Did y'all take the 2717? Did you keep it to the side, or
we're looking?
Thor has it.
No, are we? Does he have that?
I'm 90% sure.
Okay.
I'm 90% sure.
I thought we were looking for it.
He flagged it.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But so whoever gets that would be awesome.
I think somehow he pulled aside 2717.
Okay.
Because I have 17. I need to know who has 27.
Okay.
So if you're 27, hit me up.
Oh, I remember that when coin 666 went out.
Oh.
I think Thor shot whoever that went to, shot him an email and was like, "Hey, are you okay with coin 666?"
Yeah.
And whoever it was, they were like, "Yeah, it's a number."
Yeah, we're taking
I don't
it back.
care.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's good. That's
yeah, and
good.
I love that answer too. I was like, "Good,
We're taking it
that's a
back."
solid MA answer." Yeah, we're not scared of your numbers.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I think me and some of the buddies were talking about that recently. Imagine getting the 666.
Yeah.
And we were saying the same thing. I was like, do you give it up, or do you just say, nah, screw that? Like, we're changing it. Come on.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you know that there's no coincidence. Everything's for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever's got that number has it for a reason.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right. And I bet you it's got some sort of, it's going to be beneficial. God's going to use that, right?
He's going to use it as a
Somebody's
tool.
going to see that. That's a
cross his
conversation
path.
starter,
Right,
man.
yeah.
You got a coin with 666 on it. Somebody's
Yeah.
going to ask you about that.
That's
Yeah.
good.
What's this? Tell me about that.
Yeah.
And you tell them.
That's good.
Some Satanist is going to think he found a kindred spirit. Like, let me tell you, we couldn't be farther apart.
That's good.
That's good.
Okay, so you haven't had your week 3 call yet, right?
No, it's tomorrow at 6
tomorrow.
a.m. Yep.
Okay, so you've only had first 2 weeks calls. What are you feeling right now? This is a rare opportunity for us to get to talk to somebody who's just started 2 weeks into Carry the Fire, which if you guys don't know, Carry the Fire is a 10-week course for leadership and discipleship that we've got. And so it's like 8 weeks of online, and then it ends in a 3-day weekend live field training exercise. So Seeker here is at the very beginning of it. So what are you feeling? What's it like right now? What are your thoughts about it?
I love it so far. like I said earlier, I really just needed the ammunition to be able to speak to people. And when you come across those people who have, they want to go against what you're saying, I feel like I needed that ammunition to go be able to speak to them in the right ways. So that was a big reason why I wanted to do it. But so far, I really like it. I wasn't called on week 1 or 2, but seeing other people, what they said and how they said it and what they did, and then their responses to the other person coming back at them, it was helpful for me, taking notes on it, and then hearing the feedback too was really good.
Yeah.
You were in our call week 1,
right?
And you put on the glasses, and yeah, that was good. That was really good. It made me chuckle a bit.
That's fun.
You're like, put on the glasses now. It was good. That. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, it's really good. I love it so far. I think it's awesome.
Cool.
And then somebody week 1 was like, could you explain like FTX a little bit? And then the person who was in the call was like, all right, guys, so here's what happens. And he mutes his mic and keeps talking. And then everyone else is like,
that's awesome.
Hey, your mic's muted.
That's good.
I want to find out who was that. Whoever that was, that's awesome.
Clever.
Dude, it was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. Because I knew.
So that is FTX. So.
Yeah. As soon as they asked, could you like explain FTX a little bit? I was like, oh, he's either not going to say anything or he's going to mess with you. Then he was like, all right. Mutes his mic, and then you could see him talking through the camera.
That's so funny.
That's great.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Well, man, I'm excited for you to come out the other side of it. And one of the things we talk about after Carry the Fire is what's next, right? And how God is going to use you, and He uses all of us differently, and we refer to it as deploying, right? And it's like, well, you don't go through training to sit on the sideline, right? You go through training to go get into the action after you've been trained. And so I'm looking forward to seeing, how God's going to use you, what area you're going to feel called towards, and, the impact that you're going to be making. I don't know what it's going to be, but I know it's going to be big.
Yeah, I'm just really excited to get through this, and just the knowledge gained from it is just very important to me. And like I said, it's like ammunition, being able to speak to people and sow into people of my generation. And like I have a friend who grew up in the church, but he's out of it now, and the little bit of patch that I've gone through so far has actually given me some answers to the questions he's asked.
Really?
He was texting me yesterday about how he said that I told him that the Quran, right? That's the Islamic book, was written, was it 400 or 500 years after Muhammad's death?
After Muhammad's death? Yeah, it was passed down orally.
Yeah.
For the head of Islam is called the Caliph.
Okay.
Right? And so there were 3 caliphs after Muhammad before they wrote it.
Okay.
Because it was just oral.
Yeah.
They were just saying it. Muhammad was illiterate. He never wrote anything. And so it was just passed down orally for 3 different dudes before they were like, okay, let's write this down.
Yeah, that's what I was telling him.
Compare that to the New Testament.
Because he was saying well, wasn't the Bible written hundreds of years after Christ died? And I was like, I'm pretty sure the first recording was only 57 years after Christ died.
Less than that, really. Yeah. Most people date Mark to within about 10 years.
Okay.
Mark is probably written around 40 AD, and that's a conservative. That's a conservative estimate. So it's you got the eyewitnesses who were there with Jesus writing within their generation.
Yeah, that's what I was essentially telling him.
Yeah, generation after generation.
It's like the people who who were writing the books were within that same generation where Christ died, and Muhammad, it was generations after, and that really opened his eyes because he was leaning more towards Islam instead of Christianity at this point. But that definitely that was a fact that kind of made him stop and think about it more, But that's what I'm talking about. Is I need to go through patch and learn all this stuff so I'm able to speak to people about it and have the factual statements to tell them.
One of the biggest things that I feel is important for us to be able to share with our neighbors, friends, coworkers that are Muslim is, Muslims believe, because it says in the Quran, that Jesus did not die on the cross. Mm-hmm. He said, Jesus did not die, nor was he hung on a tree. And they believe that because it says that in the Quran. But the surprising thing to me is the Quran was written around the year like 650, 630 to 650. So you're talking about a book that was written 600 years after Jesus by a man who never met him in a different country, 600 years later. And you compare that to the New Testament written by a whole group of men, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, James, Peter, Paul, who saw Jesus, lived with him, and they wrote about him. So it's like, you think about that, like if all you guys wrote stories about me, and then 600 years later, a guy in Canada wrote a story about me, like which one do you think would be more accurate? Right?
Yeah.
All these guys who knew Jesus and saw him get crucified and saw him get buried and saw that tomb empty and then saw him walking around talking to him again. Those guys who wrote that down, or Muhammad, who lived 600 years later in a different country. It just logically, like you were saying, just like when you look at these different religions, like logically speaking, everybody would go with the one written by multiple men who were there. Like, just doesn't that make more sense than the one guy 600 years later who was never there? It blows my mind that people would believe this story over all these accounts. But I think most people don't know that. They don't even realize that, right? Yeah. They think it's all equal, and when we explain it, they realize, like, oh man, this isn't even like close to equal.
Yeah.
And that's what we can do, is just be that voice of truth to, Islam is growing so fast. We're all going to have coworkers and friends and neighbors who are Muslims very soon, if not already, right? Or people who are just considering it or looking into it. And we can be that ambassador for Christ to that person.
Yeah. That's why I think patch class is very important. I think anybody involved with Men's Alliance should definitely be working towards it.
There's just so many copies, though. I'm sure things have been lost in translation.
Yeah, like the game of telephone.
Yeah.
It's
like we don't have the originals, so I don't know about any of that stuff.
Come to patch class for more from Shadow.
Yep.
I love it. It's a great teaser. By the way, I was on there last night on the roster signing up because Triple texted me.
Oh, yeah.
Triple texted me yesterday, and he was like, hey, we need you to go in there and sign up for some empty slots for the Texas class.
Oh, yeah.
So I was in there last night, and I saw your name on there, so I signed up with you.
Oh, sweet.
I was like, oh, okay, Shadow's leading? I'm in that one.
It's going to be
We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, we are.
That's great.
That'll be sweet.
All right, Seeker, give us your closing comments. I want to give you the last word here. What do you want to share with people listening to you, hearing your story? What do you want people to leave here with?
You're never too far gone. I think that's one of the most important things, especially my generation, is we've all done horrible things. We've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, but you're never too far gone. I think Paul is the best example of that in the Bible. And if anybody is having that doubt, I think you should go read up on Paul in the Bible, and really just, you'll see that you are never too far gone.
So good.
That was great.
Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
To find out more about what we are doing in Men's Alliance, go to men'salliancetribe.com. This will help you find a tribe near you. We have grown so much over the past few years. There are thousands of tribesmen all over the country in hundreds of tribes. We're growing every single week. Go to men'salliancetribe.com. Find a tribe near you, or maybe you're the man to start one in your area.